Hello students. So we'll continue the chapter crop production and management. In this lecture we will see what are the advantage and disadvantage of weeding and what are the methods we can follow for the weeding. So how we can protect the crop through the weeding, and also threshing and winnowing. This process also we will discuss. Now, the crop protection through weeding, that means the unwanted plants. Already we have discussed in the last lecture, that is weed means weeds are unwanted plants. Okay, unwanted plants. Now, weeding means removal of these unwanted plants. Removal of these unwanted plants. So, this is effective for pre-harvesting method of crop protection and crop protection management. Now, first, whenever we are preparing a field, at that time, first we require weeding process. And this has been done at the time of soil preparation method. At the time of soil preparation method. Now, cultivation is over, or during the cultivation also, you can see that, or cultivation, I can say very good word, that is the during the growth of plant, you can see some weeds are there. So during that process also, during the growth of plant, we require the weeding process. And after the harvesting, that means after taking out all the crops, again we require the weeding process to prepare the field for new crop production, right? So these things we require. That means this is effective process for pre-harvesting method, and weeds act as competitors of the crop for various resources required for the growth of nutrient, light and water. That's why the farmers are applying some methods. What I should give the space difference between these two row of crops, plant to crop plant, so that if there is any weed, I can take out all those weeds. Okay, these weeds can be controlled in many ways, like weed management, that includes the land preparation, the water management, hand weeding also, crop rotation also, herbicides also we can use. Now, land preparation helps to remove the seeds and uprooting the weeds before sowing the seeds. Okay, so that's I have told already. At the time of soil preparation, we are weeding soil preparation. Just a minute. At the time of soil preparation, we are doing the uprooting of the weeds. Hand weeding we are doing, and here, but it is time consuming and also more labors we require. Now, nowadays weedicides we are using, like MCPA 24D. These are the common weedicides, and weedicides we can use, and it can be applied 3 stages, like before, after crop planting and after weed emergence. We can use the weedicides, and these chemicals can cause also health hazards and environmental issues. That's why we are little bit less amount of use of this is beneficial, and weeds need to be controlled to prevent their impact on living beings. Now, the various methods of weed control, that is mechanical method. First is the mechanical method, where we are uprooting the weed, and by hand weighing, interculture, plowing, burning, flooding, like this. And in this process, weeds are mechanically removed from the soil before they grow and compete with the crops for nutrients. Otherwise, what they will do? They will eat all the nutrients. and they will not give anything to the required crop plant. Now the cultural method. This includes the proper bed preparation. Bed that doesn't mean that your bed. Bed preparation means bed for the crop plant. So timely sowing of crops, intercropping, crop rotations. Using this also we can avoid the weed also. So this thing also we can do. Another thing, that is the chemical methods. Herbicides we can use, and you know that, but there is an impact on the environment as well as in the health, on the health. So we have to be very much careful whenever we are using weedicides. At that time we should be very much careful. Okay. Now biological method or weed control that involves deliberate use of the insects or some other organism that consume the weeds and destroy the weeds. That we can do also. These insects only affect the weeds. These insects will not affect the required plant or required crop. Like Opuntia, that can be controlled by using the cochineal insect. Now weedicides, as I have told you, this person, he is spraying the weedicides and it can be harmful for his health as well as harmful for the health also or environment also. So this usually don't damage the crop, but sometimes it happens that it will, if the environment will be damaged, then if there is any effect, then bad effect on the environment, then the crop will not be good. Now next is harvesting. Harvesting is the process of cutting the crop after its maturity. After its maturity. Fine. I have prepared the soil. I have sown the seed. Then I have done the irrigation. I have added manure fertilizers at the time of soil preparation. Then I have given the time to grow. Then that time arrived where we have to harvest it. The time means the maturity, the crop, your produced crop, this has been matured. Now you have to take out this crop. So there are two methods of harvesting. First is the manual method where sickle is used, and threshing. Threshing is the process of loosening the grains from the chaff. And while it can be done manually, these days now we are using the machines. We are using the machines because a lot of crop we have to do and there is less amount of manpower. Now threshing, here you can see that they are using not traditional method. Threshing is the process of separation of grains from the stalk on which it develops and from the chaff or unit that covers it. That is called the threshing. And this technique was used in old times, that with the hand they are going for threshing, but nowadays we are using this type of machineries. It will save our time as well as our manpower. Now horse, donkey, bulls trot out the grains from the stalks. They can do. That is the traditional method. After this, straw was gathered, raked away while the grains were winnowed to remove the debris. Then during winnowing, the air current blew away the light-weighted waste particles, leaving behind the heavy grain particles. Then whole process is very tedious, and you can see that at the end of the day you will get only small amount of crops. So huge work is there. We have to use some other method. Now threshing, that is usually carried out in an isolated plot of land, calling the threshing floor. I am writing here threshing floor. That is very, very important. Some threshing floor were flattened, circular or paved surface. But usually in a small scale farming, the floor used to be a stone or a wooden plank. Outdoor floors were a common property used by a whole village, but unfortunately modern machines and technologies outsourced the floors. Okay, so threshing and winning, here we are going to use. Now grain loss and harvest destruction also can be happen there. Four forms of threshing principles are available: scratching, scraping, combing and grinding. So what are the four forms of threshing principles? First one is scratching, second one is scraping, third one is combing, fourth one is grinding. Okay. So grain loss may be called a function of peripheral velocity and affects the touch pattern. So grain loss can be known to be a featured rasp but touch patterns. So grain loss resulting from cleaning and separation was substantially reduced in the subsequent combing threshing process. So the name given to the method of extracting the grain from the chaff is called the winnowing. Here you can see that they are doing that process. This is the move after a threshing. Okay, threshing is done. Now we have to winnow, do the winnowing process. Weeding also requires a ventilation. Since the grain is often thicker than the chaff, a gentle wind is generally enough to blow away the chaff, and what you have in your hand, that is the grain. The grains is left in place. So this is the technique. Now winnowing, this process, I think you have seen your grandmother, those they were using this method also. I don't know nowadays everyone is using this method or not, but this is a process of separation the grain seed from the chaff using the help of wind. And due to the wind, lighter shafts will fly, and then heavier grains will be in your hand. Now, this is the winning process. So, we use a number of mixtures. The need of the separation of useful components from the mixture often arises, and we are doing this using the winning process. So, this is the remove the impurities and to get the useful product. This is the method to remove the impurities and to get the useful product. Now, winnowing is the method in which heavier components of the mixture are separated from the lighter substances with the help of wind. Here you can see this person is doing the winning process. This method is used for separating the grains from husk after the process of threshing. Now, threshing is the process of separating the grain from the chaff, that already I have discussed this one. Now this is the process using machine, because we require manpower, huge manpower for large scale threshing process. So that's why we are using this. Now dirt will get dissolved in water and husk will float. So that process also we can use there using the water. So we add water to pulses. At that time also we can do it, use this threshing process. Now advantage of the weeding. The method does not require any machines for its functioning. Only wind is required. It is completely based on human activity, hence it takes time to process and definitely very cheap. Disadvantage is what? The heavier components of the mixture are separated from the lighter substances with the help of the wind. But this process does not work for the materials heavier than the grains like stones. We cannot segregate the stone from the required crop. That is a big problem. Now that's storage. Okay, we have done threshing, winning, harvesting, everything we have done. Now we have in our hand the crops, we have to store it. Now storage of the grains is very important. After harvesting step, the main thing is the ready grains that should be stored in a granary or granaries, and these grains have to be stored in a dry place until unless it will be distributed and it does not have a rodent or fungal infestation. So that should be kept in our mind, so that the storage places should be free from any microbes. Otherwise, whatever the crops they will be, it should be free from the microbes. Just a minute. The storage place that should be free from the microbes. Now, the granaries are the place where freshly obtained food grains are stored, and storage of the grains, what we are doing, we obtain our food resources from the plants, animals, through agriculture and animal husbandry, but we have to do it with proper storage so that year, throughout the year, we can get the required grains. Now, if demand is very high, food supply we require, at that time the storage or warehouses this will be required, and the problems like hunger, malnutrition cannot be combated with the measure alone, as food security is influenced both by the availability of the food and access to it. So, if not controlled, then it causes severe damage to the yield. So, we field crops accommodate in a large number of insect pests, weeds, and diseases that should be controlled. Things we have to keep in our mind, and these factors hugely contribute to the poor marketing of the ill produce. That means economic value of crop that will fall. The economic value of the crop will fall, then what is the main purpose? We cannot get the money. Whatever the investment to product to get the throughout the cultivation, cost, it is cost effective. So how we can get that much only? We cannot get if the economic value will lose economic value of the grains. So that's why we have to think about the very good method of the storage. Now, factors can be controlled by suitable treatment, constant monitoring of warehouses. That's why some uh, team will be there, and strict cleaning of the warehouses, and also the care needs to be taken to check the grains have been dried completely in sunlight, then in shade, and it should be checked for pest using the fumigation. Now, importance of the food storage. First importance is that all the crops, they are not growing throughout the year. We know that the different crops are growing in different time of the span of the year. So if we want the particular crop of grain throughout the year, we should store the food grains in a very particular conditions. And storing food is economical to the consequences that can be caused otherwise. Food Corporation of India, FCI, they buys the grains from the farmers and stores in their warehouses, so they can supply the food and hence meet the demand of the food. So FCI has a big role on this. An increase of shelf life of the food item, and there are different ways of storing various food items. The like proper storage enables the uniform distribution and useful in case of emergencies such as famines. Also, now we have the floods in case of our Assam. So at that time we have to distribute those. We have to meet the scarcity. Now the animal husbandry. Animal husbandry, like crops, grain, vegetables, those things we know. Now that thing we have to cultivate. Similarly, we are dependent on the animal. We are dependent on the animal as well as animal products. Animal products for the proteins, fats. Like you are taking Amul butter, you are taking Amul milk, right? So those things are coming from where? Egg, very tasty. Chicken you are taking, right? Mutton you are taking. So many things you are taking and so many dishes are there. So how you can get this thing? Because we are a heavy population. So everyone, they should get it. Now animal husbandry, that is the management and care of farm of animals for milk, egg and meat. Milk, egg and meat. So animal husbandry, this is the management and they will take care of the farm animals. Now, animal husbandry meaning. Animal husbandry, this is the branch of agriculture where animals are reared, bred, and raised for meat, fiber, eggs, milk, and other food products. And what is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry refers to the livestock raising and selective breeding. Here you can see egg, your favorite egg, milk. Okay, so it is the management and care of animals in which genetic quality and behavior of the animals are further developed for profit, because a large number of farmers that depend upon the animal husbandry. Also, we are dependent on the animal husbandry for different milk products. I know that milk is always we are using milk in our home. So these things we require. Now, animals provide us with a variety of food products. So therefore, a lot of care and attention need to be taken. We should give more attention on them, and animals are bred commercially in order to meet the high demand for food, because if you have the if you have the egg limited amount, at that time you cannot meet the demand of the population. So that time the breed we should use that will give us more number of eggs. Dairy products, animals like cows, buffaloes, goats, rich sources of protein we can use. These animals are called milk animals as they provide us the milk. And another set of animal you have like hen, duck, goose, they have, and they are rich in protein. They are rich in protein. So duck, ox, goat, pigs, they are bred for meat. And other than these domestic animals, we have other sources of nutrients. They are marine animals. Seafood. Seafood is very good for vitamins and minerals. So seafood is very much nutrient value is very high. So they are the sources of variety of nutrients like fat, proteins, vitamins, minerals. So we also depend on the seafood. So that's why that thing also we are doing. Now fishery department, they are taking care of the fishes also. The care, breeding, management, everything related to the animals, these are called animal husbandry. It is a large scale business. And animal husbandry, it involves the poultry, milk farm, apiculture. Apiculture means bee agriculture. And aquaculture, these are aquaculture means you are the fisheries, the fish management, those things. This is aquaculture, the seafood, that is also we require. So these things we require for as an animal husbandry. Now, types of animal husbandry. First is the dairy farming. You require milk to make tea, to make coffee. Also, you require milk. Suppose you want to take this thing, curd, cheese, yogurt, butter, cream, everything you are using. From where it is coming? It is coming from the milk and milk of the animal, right? And it involves the management of the dairy animals such as cows, buffaloes, sheep, goat, like this. The animals are taken care of against the disease also. Okay, because if they have the disease, then it may be their milk is not edible, so that we are not going to use that type of animal. So that they will should be inspected, and a healthy animal is physically, mentally, socially sound animal we require in our farm. And animals are milked by hand or by machines. The milk is preserved and converted into dairy products industrially, and it has a very high economic value. So commercial purpose we are using this. Now the poultry farming, you see, so small, chiku chiku there. So poultry farming, this is another animal husbandry, and lot of people they are dependent on this poultry farming. Also, we are also dependent for to take the food. Poultry farming that is concerned with raising and breeding of birds for commercial purposes. Birds like ducks, chickens, geese, pigeons, turkeys, these are domesticated for eggs and meat. And this we should take care of them, and for healthy food we require they should be healthy. The eggs and meat are rich in source of protein, rich in protein. And sanitation and hygienic conditions need to be given to them. The feces of the birds are used as manure to improve the soil fertility. Already I have told you animal waste we are taking. Poultry farming provides employment to large number of people. So that means what, animal husbandry we cannot neglect them, because they are important for us. They are giving us the employment, and they are also feeding us, like we are taking milk, and milk products also we are using, and also we are taking the egg, meat, all these things, the proteins. Now the fish farming. Fish farming is the process of raising the fish in enclosed tanks or ponds. Here you can see small ponds they have made, and they are just going for fish farming. And fishery department of government of India is there. So they are encouraging all the methods, and the salmon, catfish, cod, tilapia, these are raised in fish farms, and these are increasing demand for fish and fish proteins that will be fulfilled. Now, fish farming or pisciculture is of two types: extensive aquaculture based on local photosynthetic production, and intensive aquaculture based on external food supply given to fishes, right? So, extensive aquaculture, that is based on photosynthetic production, and another one is the intensive aquaculture based on external food supply given to the fish. Bee farming, this is also very important, because your honey, dabur honey, you can remember that dabur honey, how it comes. These honey bees, these are reared on a large scale, and these bees are domesticated for honey, wax, and to pollinate the flowers. We are going to use these bees, and they are also used by other beekeepers for the same purposes. And we are using, like this, in this picture you can see that they are culturing or they are farming the bee. Now, role of animal husbandry in human life. Dairy products, okay, in the morning take the milk, in your breakfast take cheese, in lunch you take curd, so yogurt you can use, paneer you can use, so many things you can use. Everything is dairy product. Meat, that is high protein, that you can use. Land management, the livestock is sometimes grazed to control the growth of weeds on agricultural land. So what you can do, just graze the animals, so that you can see all the weeds will be uprooted. So they are automatically uprooted, because the animals are grazing there. So that is the land management. So we can manage the land also. Fiber, we can take the fiber, animals like sheep, you can take the fiber, wool, okay, and manure also, cow dung, okay, this is a good manure. And labor, the animals are a source of non-human labor. We can use bullock for bullock cart, horse, yaks, donkeys, all those things we can use as a labor. So manure we can use, labor as a labor we can use the animals. And advantages, a lot of advantages. It helps for proper management of animals. It provides employment to a large people. It provides it satisfy or it provides a lot of high protein foods, and it involves the proper disposal of animals waste and promotes a healthy environment. So till now, thank you.